Welcome everyone to an action figure comparison for one of my first and favorite superhero movies. It is Batman 1989, as this is going to be a fun comparison between a vintage and a modern day action figure. So we have the 90s Kenner one here, and also the Bandai Tamashii Nations SA Figuarts version. And I know that they're kind of different figures in their own way, but since I only recently picked up this Kenner version, I thought I'd do the unboxing for this video. And we're going to take a look at the packaging first, and then we'll focus on the figures. And I'm going to start off with the Kenner version. So this is a 1990 release, and as a kid growing up, I actually did buy a lot of the Kenner Batman figures. I must have had at least 15 to 20 of them, from the 89 movie all the way to Batman and Robin. And it was such a big hit. The marketing was massive back then, and they just basically had almost any version of a Batman you could find. And this one is obviously the classic one, as you can see, with the black and gold colors. And this version is known as the Shadow Wing, as it says there. And you can see on the packaging, this is part of the Dark Knight collection. It has a picture of Michael Keaton. And then we have the figure in the plastic shell. The logo of Kenner is on the bottom right. And then if we take a look at the back, this is kind of like your standard action figures in the 90s. Shows you the instructions on how to play with the figure. So you push the figure arms down, and then you can release them by squeezing the legs together. And you can also put the back cuff, which is the accessory, on some of the villain figures as well, which is Joker. And then you can see these are the other versions that you can pick up in this series. And I think as a kid I did have the Tech Shield as well as the Iron Winch. I do remember them, but obviously after playing with them they were either broken, lost, or just given away. And it does say it was made in 1990. So yeah, it's a really old figure, 30 years now, so I'm kind of glad that people have still kept them in the box. So let's take a look at the 2020 release of the Bandai Tamashii Nations SA Figuarts. And here at the front you get a picture of the figure, the logos, and then all the stickers as well. And at the back is where you see the figure in a small cutout, and also pictures showing you the figure in different poses. So I think I'm going to first unbox the Kenner version. So here is the Kenner Batman out of its packaging, and as you can see, it's a very vintage classic look. It does bring back so many memories. I definitely had a version of the black and gold suit, maybe not exactly this one, but I do remember the size and the look of this. And you can see that it's a very good likeness to Michael Keaton, considering it was the 90s. And it's a kind of like a 4-inch figure, I believe. And what you do with this figure is you can press the arms down, and it doesn't stay all the way down, but halfway there. And if you push the legs together, they spread out. So it's a very, very cool thing you can do. And the way it's attached to the cape is it's got these kind of plastic pieces on the arms, like a soft cloth, which feels and looks okay. And I think you can take the handles off, and you can see there's a band on the side. Doesn't look as good when it's not spreaded out, but I think when you were a kid and you were playing with it, you obviously didn't want him in that pose all the time. And in terms of articulation, the arm does move forwards and backwards and upwards. There's no bicep swivel or any bends. For the legs, it does kick forwards, which is actually quite cool. The left leg as well, and it does bend backwards. Obviously there's no joints on the legs. And this is the accessory, which is like a bat wing kind of shape in the plastic, and it can be attached to the arm. And it's probably a bit oversized. If you were playing with this in the 90s, you would definitely use it as a weapon. So a really classic and vintage figure, and I do like it a lot. And I do notice the bat ears are not as sharp as they're meant to be. Maybe it's for kid purposes. You don't want to kind of poke yourself. and I just really love the way they've painted this figure. I also noticed on the left wrist there's a closed fist, but for the right hand it's a open one, so that allows him to also hold on to the bat wing. SH Figuarts version, which I think a lot of people were disappointed in the look, and I do love the build of the suit. The cape obviously can be improved. The material doesn't quite look screen accurate, but it's okay. Obviously there's a size difference, and for the money, obviously Tamashii Nations, you pay about 5 times more, and you're going to get a better quality and articulation. But I think a lot of people do like the Kenner version as well. So for the accessories of the SH Figuarts, it does come with gun, batarang, gauntlet. But this is probably the closest thing to what you get on the Shadow Wing version. So now I have both of the figures in that classic opening scene pose. So for the Kenner one is obviously the main selling point of this figure, is to have him in this pose, so you can push the arms together, and once you press the legs they do spread out. And then for the SH Figuarts, you can see that it's actually an accessory where you have to hold on to these kind of poles which are connected inside the cape, and I think the wings are spreaded actually pretty screen accurate. Obviously if you take a closer look you can see he's holding on to it, which is actually not that good. But in terms of the way the wing is spread, I do like it. And I think if you get it in the right kind of lighting, you can take some very good photos. Batman 1989, 30 years apart, and I'm glad I have both of these in my collection. So yeah, that's the comparison quickly with a 90s figure and a 2020 modern version. Which one do you like better? Obviously if I had to pick to keep one, I will keep the SH Figuarts, but this is such a classic. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe, and stay tuned for more collections, reviews and news. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon.